Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and much like you, I remember exactly where I was the very first time I ever heard of Weird Al Yankovic. I don't remember where I was when I first heard Weird Al Yankovic. I remember when I first really kind of latched on to Weird Al Yankovic, and that sounds kind of creepy. Now that I say that out loud, it was a year or so later. But anyway, I was in the 6th grade, and one of my friends brought this album, not this particular album, but pretty much this album, Weird Al Yankovic in 3D, into the classroom. And I can't remember if we actually listened to the music. I can't remember if our school had a record player. It's been a long time. Anyway, I never had a Weird album on LP. Get it? Weird album. Okay, that's a bit on the nose. But this was the very first Weird Al Yankovic record that I saw. I wasn't into pop music back then, and so I really didn't quite understand, what the fascination was with this. And I remember listening to Eat It. That was one of his breakaway hits, at least the one that kind of made him a household name. He still is a household name. In fact, our daughter Jedi listens to Weird Al Yankovic all the time. How else are you going to learn about the pancreas? You just listen to the song. It's great. I still listen to Weird Al. My very first concert was Weird Al Yankovic. My wife's first concert was Weird Al Yankovic with me for my 40th birthday. I just got the album. This album. I've had the album. Had it first on cassette, then on CD, and of course I could listen to it digitally as well. But I believe I'm going to go back, and even though I believe this was a copy that was not designed to be resold, I think I'm going to go back and try to get all of the LPs or Weird Al Yankovic albums produced on vinyl, like the original copies. And this is the vinyl right here. It's kind of seeing a comeback in terms of a format. People, specifically audiophiles, suggest that the audio fidelity on vinyl is superior. I know they are scientifically correct, but I can't necessarily hear the difference, or maybe it's just that I don't have an amazing stereo system. So this is now in 3D, for real, like in 3D. I didn't start listening to Weird Al Yankovic until like a year later when I was visiting a friend over a week's period of time in, well, not in our hometown, but in his hometown. And he listened to Weird Al, and that's when I really remember hearing him and taking him in for the first time. That also sounds a little bizarre, but it's true. I've been a lifelong Weird Al fan. I've owned every one of his albums in one way, shape, or form, but never his LP until today. I got this courtesy of one of our vendors from Galaxar. He was selling a whole bunch of pop culture records and soundtrack and sci-fi types of records at the recent show. And so I followed up with him saying, hey, do you have any more? And so he's going to help me locate the other Weird Al Yankovic albums, if I can find them, the originals. And also, in line with that, Star Wars albums. This one, unfortunately, was printed upside down, so it is rare to get this one right here. The upside down Star Wars album. I don't know if you knew that. The whole front cover was upside down. It was an easy fix, really, with this LP. I remember having this as well. I didn't listen to the Star Wars album all that much, believe it or not. I mean, I guess it fascinated me. Of course, I like listening to bits and pieces. Ooh, it's kind of sticky on the inside. This is long before the special edition, but I do remember listening to this album, at least, pieces of it. But of course, I wanted to have this one on display here in the play shop because there's a Darth Vader right there, Star Wars on the front, Darth Vader on the back. I'm not necessarily going to get into full-on vinyl collecting, but it's nice to have the liner notes, and this is in fantastic shape outright. And then here is the album. My mother may still have these records at home somewhere, hopefully in a cool, dry place, so they're not warped. But up close and in person, these look absolutely fantastic. So I will be able to spin them, and at some point when Jedi is old enough, she'll be able to spin them as well. And hopefully she will have a vinyl collection of her own, passed on from me or found at various thrift stores or possibly even Galaxar. We're planning our next Galaxar Pop Culture Marketplace event for October this year. Maybe you'll be able to join us there. And of course, you can join our free Facebook group if you're interested in buying and selling this kind of stuff, which I am. Not necessarily the selling part, but the buying part, of course. So I've now covered everything I need to cover. If you know where else I could look, just let me know for this kind of stuff. And until the next time, may the Force be with you.